I'll get his badge.
Okay.
Good morning. Thank you so much. You're early. You're doing late. I sent an email. Coming out.
We're just enjoying the shade.
You get and everybody
Dr. Calvert's coming tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah.
You might want to know we're laying brick on the building and put up the. Give me 2.5, 3 weeks. We'll head and run the
How are you? I have folks lined up to meet Karen Peterson. And of course, along with Dr. Omar. This is she.
Somebody wanted this. Can't learn something.
Next one day.
They may be in the shade.
Good morning.
Morning, man.
plenty of seats in the front. Good morning. My name is Ben Williams. It's my pleasure to be the chairman of the Hampton Industrial Development Authority. The authority has been the facilitator for this project, along with many others, and it's been a pleasure to work with everybody that's been concerned. This is a significant day for the peninsula, for the region, for the state, and for the city. It marks a first, I think, in the groundbreaking of the first Workforce Development Center that will just be a continuum of our education process to train more skilled workers for the jobs that are needed to be fulfilled here on the peninsula and in our region, to provide better jobs for our citizens, which in fact will have a great economic impact on their social well-being and on the well-being of the community as a whole. Today with me, I think I have two of my fellow commissioners from Hampton. I have Dr. Jim Parham. Jim, you ran somewhere? There he is back there. And Lynn Moore, right here. I appreciate the efforts they've given. I think that's all that I see here today. They are several people who have been untiring in their efforts. They raised the flag over you today. Yes. In any project, there are people that stand out, and I couldn't go without early on recognizing there'll be a lot of people that are part, but three individuals that just kept this project going. And that Cheryl Bailey from the city of Hampton has done a wonderful job. And she and Fred Whitley, our city engineer over here, and also from the community college system, Karen Peterson. I can't tell you. I can't tell you in any way the hours and the dedication that those three people, along with many others, the list is long, but that they have kept to keep the project going. There are many others, and I think anybody involved will recognize the significant roles that those three people took in this project. I think that the other speakers will tell you why workforce development. I think it's pretty self-evident why workforce development, so I'm not going to ponder on that. I will let you know that our city council and our city manager took the lead in this regional project. One reason is the project has to be located in Hampton, but it is a regional project, and the fact it's in Hampton has very little significance other than location. One of the things is that we do as IDA people and as economic development people, whether it be Mayor Frank in the city of Newport News or Mayor Spencer here or any of the IDAs, is to recruit businesses to bring jobs. And we all want to be able to take a little bit of credit for that in our jurisdictions. But if you look at the zip codes of the payroll checks that those people get, you'll find pretty much across the board that X% of them are from Hampton, X% of them are from Newport News, X% of them are from Gloucester, X% of them are from York County, James City County, Williamsburg. The whole area benefits. And so even though we, as I said, sometimes take the credit for it, for the different projects we land, it is for the whole peninsula. And I think it's great that we've had the region come together and commit the financing for the locals aspect that is needed for this. We've had state financing, and we thank all our legislatures and state officials for that. But the region really came together, and we just happened to take the lead role. There are other projects that Newport News and other projects that other jurisdictions have taken a role in, but this was ours, and our staff and our people really stepped forward, and we're really pleased about that. Without further ado, gives me pleasure to introduce to you for the welcome a lady that I've gotten to know in this project, the leader of Thomas Nelson Community College, Dr. Shirley Pippins. Shirley?
Good morning again, and welcome to Thomas Nelson Community College. Welcome to a celebration of what I believe Langston Hughes would describe as a dream first deferred and now prepared to explode and provide to the businesses and citizens on the peninsula another fine jewel that will help ensure quality of life for generations to come. A jewel that will provide support to existing businesses, will help attract new businesses, and will support and help us further develop our fine workforce. I can welcome you this morning, and I'm bragging as I say this, because the Workforce Development Center will be built on land deeded by the Virginia Community College System to the City of Hampton. When the center is completed, it will be part of our continuous efforts to provide training and transfer education for approximately 7,000 students each semester. Students who will join our over 700,000 graduates and remain in this community as skilled workers, as leaders, as strong citizens. Students who, like this new building, will be fundamental pieces of this community for generations to come. Over the years, we've sought to establish ourselves as a place to begin on the path of higher education, a place to acquire skills. So we're pleased that the Workforce Development Center will join our campus. We're pleased to be partners with ODU, BEC, and the Greater Peninsula Workforce Development Consortium. And I am personally very thankful to the 6 localities, but I will name them: Hampton, Newport News, York County, James City County, Poquoson, and Williamsburg. 6 localities under the strong and consistent leadership of Joe Spencer and the City of Hampton. They stepped up to the plate and made this dream a reality. We also thank the General Assembly, represented today by Dr. Mary Christian, who I called morning, noon, and night, even offered to braid her granddaughter's hair to keep her around to help us out. We thank the community college system led by Arnie Oliver and with the support of Karen Peterson. And Arnie, I thank you for your leadership that led to our receiving $1.5 million in equipment for this Workforce Development Center. We thank the Commonwealth. I also cannot let this moment pass without thanking Dr. Dolores Henschel and her staff at the Workforce Development Center for serving over 3,600 employees in an interim facility, clearly demonstrating the need while we sought funding for this facility. It is fitting that we hold part of the ceremony here and then cross the walk bridge to the actual construction site, to the ceremonial breaking of ground. It is symbolic because we represent the region, government, industry, training providers, and citizens. As a region, we have come together to make this dream a reality. When we cross that bridge, we will step into the future stronger, into a more prosperous region. So I welcome all of you. I thank you. I thank you for your support in the past. I thank you for your support today. And I thank you for your support as we move forward into a bright future. Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. Shirley has really demonstrated leadership skills in this project, and along with the other 2 women I noted, a great deal of stick-to-itiveness. You always need that in it, and we had 3 women in it in this, at least 3, who just wouldn't say no. And Shirley, thank you so much. The next person I want to introduce is a great personal friend of mine, golfing buddy, and has, as his wife would say, 4 more days to serve as the mayor of the city of Hampton, the Honorable Joseph H. Spencer.
Thank you, Ben. Good morning, everyone. We're here today to celebrate a mission we've been on for several years. To many, it seemed like mission impossible. I looked at some press clippings that we had provided to us just recently, and I saw that we had projected this to be finished by 1999 at one time. So, but we had Cheryl Bailey and Karen Peterson to help us cut through a maze of bureaucracy and red tape, and we very much appreciate your fine efforts on that behalf. This is a major project that all of us can be very proud of, and in this case, it is a first model for the peninsula, a first for the state, and obviously a model for the Commonwealth. So permit me to go back in time to the genesis as to why we are here today and how we got here. Our historic Virginia Peninsula has had a long-term commitment to workforce training. During the 1990-1994 time period, the Peninsula Chamber of Commerce, and I see Clyde Huey's here today, welcome Clyde, launched a Big Ed initiative to enhance school-to-work programming. Thomas Nelson Community College and the Peninsula Advanced Technology Council presented workforce development forums to encourage workforce training. And in 1995, the Peninsula Mayors and Chairs Regional Strategic Plan identified workforce training as a top priority and asked the area school superintendents to report on workforce development priorities. And I see our chairman, Jimmy Haggard, is here today. Jimmy, glad to see you. And Jimmy also has 4 days left. We're going to miss you, Jimmy. Virginia Private Industry Council and Consortium of Governments authorized a broad review of workforce development. Then in 1996, the mayors and chairs created the Peninsula Workforce Development Commission, chaired by our own Dr. Pippins, to develop a workforce development plan. As a result, in 1997, the Workforce Development Commission identified the need for a workforce development facility to anchor our regional workforce efforts and to provide coordinated training services to citizens in a central location. In 1997, the City of Hampton took the lead in facilitating the development of the regional center by loaning the project the design funds totaling almost $700,000, which was accomplished through the leadership of our Hampton City Council, and many of you are here today, our city manager, Mr. Wallace, and the Industrial Development Authority, headed by Ben Williams. A development team was formed with Thomas Nelson Community College, Old Dominion University, Virginia Employment Commission, and the Greater Peninsula Workforce Development Consortium. All of those are here today representing their different entities. This team began to design the project and work with the General Assembly and our local communities to secure funding for the center. Then in 1998, the Peninsula Alliance for Economic Development was formed and identified workforce development as a key focus. And I saw Ann Honeycutt here. Ann, welcome. She's the chair of our alliance. We can be very proud of how we came together as a community. We began as, and still are, a true partnership that includes 10 investment partners who are financing the construction of the Workforce Development Center. This partnership includes our Peninsula General Assembly delegation, and our own Hampton delegate, Dr. Mary Christian, who will bring comments relative to the state's role and identify the state legislature here today in just a minute. Through their valiant efforts and strong support, they set the course on behalf of workforce development through 2 grueling General Assembly sessions to secure full lease financing. Our 3 state agencies, Thomas Nelson Community College of the Virginia Community College System, Old Dominion University, and the Virginia Employment Commission. And then, of course, the 6 peninsula localities, Hampton, Newport News, James City County, York County, Pocosin, and Williamsburg. And they're all represented here today, and Mayor Frank will identify those localities and who represent their different communities in a minute. But the total commitment for the 20-year lease that the local communities authorized for the funding was $210,000. I don't mean to steal all your remarks, Joe, but that's something we can really celebrate. The Greater Peninsula Workforce Development Consortium is a 10th partner to participate in our regional center. This agency receives federal funding through the state with local jurisdictional oversight. As local elected officials and community leaders, we can be proud of the phenomenal teamwork, regional cooperation that led us to be here today. The City of Hampton received hands-on confirmation of the importance of being directly involved in the training of the new workers through the initial Gateway manufacturing facility. Back in 1996, we also realized that we could not wait for this new center to be constructed. In order to keep pace with the rapid change in workforce expertise, the need for specialized training was now. In 1998, Hampton joined with Thomas Nelson Community College to open an interim center in the Langley Development Research Park, at the very same location where we trained the initial Gateway workers. This interim training facility opened in early 1999, and in the fall of 1999, Newport News joined with us by providing financial support for the interim facility. The results of our collaborated efforts have been astonishing, as Dr. Pippin just mentioned, but we're here to celebrate, so I'm going to say it again, Dr. Pippin, because it is time for celebration. 3,600 workers and 23 different businesses from across the region have been served with a wide range of training programs in an interim facility. Think of what we're going to do here. A special word of thanks needs to be given to others besides those previously mentioned. And if you have been previously mentioned, I'm doing it again because, like I said, it's time for a celebration. Reaching this point today, as I said, has been a team effort and years of hard work by many, many people. To those who have been key players in this effort and to whom I wish to express special gratitude and praise are our own city manager, George Wallace. George, you did a great job. I'm going to miss working with you, George. Hampton's Industrial Development Authority, led by Ben Williams. Ben, good job. Appreciate it. And the real worker behind all this, Dr. Cheryl Bailey, Director of Financial Policy for the City of Hampton, who just seemed like the only thing she had to do among all the 100 things that she does daily. But we appreciate it, Cheryl. You did a great job along with Karen Peterson, the Vice Chancellor of the Community College System. But none of this would have been possible without the strong leadership and support of Barry Duval, the Secretary of Commerce and Trade, who personally escorted the project and smoothed the approval process and cut through a lot of red tape and bureaucracy. And Barry would very much have liked to have been here with us today for the celebration, but unfortunately his schedule did not allow him to attend. So here we are today, breaking ground for our new Workforce Development Center that is scheduled to open in August of next year. We can all be very proud of the facility. It will train our citizens for tomorrow's jobs, opportunities that will ensure good wages and a quality of life for our citizens. We're all blessed with the quality of life that we enjoy on the peninsula, but our marketplace is not local or regional, it is global. This Workforce Development Center will maintain that global competitiveness. This will enhance our ability to attract and retain world-class businesses, even in the face of our present booming economy. And it will allow us to maintain that competitive edge that has set our peninsula workforce apart from other regions nationally. So I want to thank you for joining us today and celebrating this major accomplishment, for your tireless efforts, dedication, and hard work, and for making today possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. I think we all ought to thank you for the role you've taken in leading the city into this project too, as we do. Thank you. We also owe thanks to the governor and to Secretary Duval, who have pledged their support for this project. As Joe said, neither one of them could be here today for other commitments, but we're lucky to have a representative from the state today. He's the director of the Virginia Department of Business Assistance. I have his bio here. I can tell you, I'm not going to tell you what it is. I read it. I can tell you how values that he's duly qualified in economic development. So without further ado, let me introduce David G. Dixon.
Ben, thank you. I'm very pleased after 20 years in the business to know that I'm qualified. With any luck, and the wind keeps blowing, my speech will blow away, and Those of you that have tea times will make them. But more seriously, on behalf of Governor Gilmore and Secretary Duvall, I want to congratulate you on your vision for the development of this Workforce Development Center. In the Governor's strategic plan for workforce, the first guiding principle is investment in workforce training and skills upgrading is an urgent priority in order for Virginia to remain competitive. This groundbreaking ceremony is a clear and concrete affirmation of this principle. In today's robust new economy, Virginia is experiencing its fair share of success. The Peninsula region as a whole is attracting substantial new business concerns each year. Household names like Canon, Gateway, John Deere, MCI WorldCom, and Nextel Communications continue to invest here. As my good friend Dr. Toberman will tell you, Virginia's unemployment rates are at a record low. All this is good news, but the new technologies that are driving our new economy mandate renewed emphasis on training and retraining of our workers. As I've told many audiences, the number one economic development issue in America today is the availability of a trained workforce. Not too many years ago, that meant giving our young people a solid basic education, going to trade school, becoming an apprentice, attending the community college, perhaps going to university. At least I wasn't in my backswing for that. I know that's the way the city came. Today, creativity, innovation, and technology are driving today's businesses. This means that training and retraining of all age groups is imperative for Virginia to along with like facilities, understand the fleet is in. Along with like facilities, the Peninsula Workforce Development Center is Virginia's competitive edge. This new center will continue to attract the business investors in this region and encouraging your existing businesses to grow as well right here in the Peninsula. As working adults must move from the one-time learning experience to lifelong learning. Today's trained workers are the building block for Virginia's long-term competitive advantage and sustained economic growth. I'm here to tell you your community leaders are doing the right thing. And I want to congratulate all those who are making this project a reality, and thank you for letting me be a part of your ceremony today. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Obviously, General Jumper wants to celebrate today. He's had more than one flyover. Joe told me that's the voice of freedom. As Joe's also told you, this was a partnership made up of a lot of institutions and individuals. One of which, we couldn't have done this act, were all the members of the General Assembly, including, most importantly, the ones representing the Peninsula. And here today to represent their interest and bring a few remarks is our own Dr. Mary T. Christian. Mary?
Thank you very much. Good morning. This is certainly a good morning. It's a great morning. It's a glorious morning. my children in the classroom, but I cannot compete with the planes overhead. But it certainly is a pleasure for me to be a partner in this great event. It is just a wonderful occasion, and I tried to think of a good quotation to start off my new remarks, and but I didn't get a good academic one, but I think I found one that sums it all up. How sweet it is! Certainly in the new millennium, what great event could we have? New ideas, new ventures, new opportunities, but the greatest of all, I think, is a new sense of cooperation and commitment. Cooperation and commitment from all of the various entities that you have heard about. From 6 cities and counties, universities, school systems, businesses, we could certainly be a role model for the Commonwealth and for the nation. And a part of that cooperation certainly would not have been possible without my colleagues in the General Assembly. And I would like to recognize them at this time. And I would like them to come out front, all the way out. Don't just stand and wave your hands. We want to see you. So come out front and stand right down there until I finish my few remarks. Thank you very much. Delegate Laura Crittenden, Delegate Joanne Davis, Senator W. Henry Maxwell, when you talk about a partnership, I think all of you would be very proud to know that we may be in different sections in the House and the Senate. We're even on different sides of the aisle, Democrats and Republicans. But in order to make this work, we have all come together. And one person who is not here, but I certainly could not sit down without mentioning and recognizing Delegate Alan Diamonstein. Because during that time, when Shirley Pippin called me at 5 and 6 in the morning, I in turn would go to Alan and I'd bug him. He said, when he see me coming, he said, all right, Mayor, I know workforce development. I'm going to the conference and do it. So we certainly want to recognize the work of Alan Diamonstein in this project. And I'd like to say on behalf of the people who are here, who represent all of our other colleagues in the House, 100 delegates and 40 senators, because without total cooperation, spearheaded by the fortitude and tenacity of the local delegation, we were able to get the first full funding that we asked for. We pray God's blessings upon this project. We hope that all of you will continue to cooperate in the wonderful way that you have cooperated, and we know this is just the beginning of a great, great, great endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary, Joanne, Flora, and Henry, thank you too. We didn't tell her to make you come up here and get out of here. That was her idea. The next individual represents the local governments, the mayors and chairs, that also participated in this, and a leader in economic development, another friend of mine, but not a golfing buddy because I don't think he golfs. The Honorable Mayor Joe Frank, City of Newport News. Joe?
Good morning, everybody. You know, we on the peninsula understand the critical importance of workforce training. I remember very well in 1988 when I was first elected to the Newport News City Council. I called upon the then president of Newport News Shipbuilding, and I think probably very cockily I said to him that I'd just been elected to the city council and I was here to determine what I could do to help. And we have had, over those years before that, something of a little rocky road from time to time with our partners at the shipyard. And he said, well, I don't know that you really want to hear this, but we have about 33,000 people working here today, and over the next several years we'll be around 15,000. Just exactly the kind of news that a newly elected person wants to hear, of course. Well, it became clear to me that those folks who were no longer going to be employed at the shipyard, who had good work habits and who had good skills, needed to have an opportunity to learn new skills. What was also obvious in 1988, and certainly remains true today, is that our economy and the skills required to participate gainfully in that economy are constantly changing. You know, technology changes hourly. New things come on the market more quickly than the advertising people can make you aware of. And that's a major accomplishment. The point is that when I go and speak to children at school, and I tell them that when I was a little boy, if you open the lid, the hood of an automobile, you could actually look down and see some ground. And today, if you open the hood of an automobile and look down, all you see are wires and computers and parts, none of which I can personally identify. The fact of the matter is that the person who capably and ably and profitably repaired automobiles even 10 years ago would be without a job if he didn't keep up and learn the latest skills, learn how to use the latest technologies in today's market and in today's economy. The businesses that we have here on the peninsula that are multinational and some that are regional and local could, with a few turns of some wrenches, move their equipment and their personnel lock, stock, and barrel and travel to any part of the world and reestablish their business in a very short period of time. So we are challenged, as is every community, to take a careful look at what is it that we need to do for our citizens and what is it that we need to do for our businesses that give both an opportunity to succeed in the workforce and in the marketplace of the first year of the new millennium and the years yet to come. Certainly change is going to be a constant, and that's a concept that we haven't had to deal with until relatively recent time. This workforce training facility is the accumulation of the vision of a lot of people here on the peninsula. You've already heard about the role that the regional governments have played and that the General Assembly has played, all very critical. But we have marshaled the support of the business community, the labor community, those who already are in the business of training people, who understand that our future economically here on the peninsula is critically dependent on our ability to deliver a workforce that is qualified and trained and responsive to change. The Workforce Training Center that we are beginning to lay groundwork for today is a critical but first step to that process. The Peninsula Alliance for Economic Development is working hard in workforce training, just as is Thomas Nelson Community College, and just as are the other agencies that you'll hear from today. The effort takes commitment of time and effort and resources. And I'm very pleased and very proud that the various elected bodies of our community understood the challenge and met that challenge face on. It's not always easy to coalesce regional communities around a common goal and to have everybody understand the common purpose. But we on the peninsula have been blessed by leadership who's willing to work together, who's willing to look at the issues, and who's willing to come together and try to solve problems. I want to express my appreciation to Mayor Spencer of Hampton, not only for his leadership on this project, but for his cooperative attitude and the sense that we've all had that working together is the right way to advance the lives and the opportunities of the citizens of the peninsula that we all represent. Today we have with us Mayor-elect and currently Vice Mayor Mamie Locke, City of Hampton, Paige Washington, Councilman-elect Rhett Tigner, all from the City of Hampton, and you've also been introduced to their city manager, George Wallace, who's been instrumental in this effort. From Newport News, I'm joined by Bill Haskins. You'll hear from Bill in a little bit. I'm particularly proud and pleased about the leadership role he's taken in helping us to make workforce development a reality on the peninsula. Our city manager, Ed Maroney, is here, and he's certainly been very supportive and very helpful of this project. One of our assistant city managers, Randy Hildebrand, has been very involved as this process moved along. From James City County, we have Ronald Nervett, who is the chairman of the Board of Supervisors, and we have Sandy Warner, their county administrator. From York County, we have Donald Wiggins. From Poquoson, we have Roger Messier. From Williamsburg, we have Jeannie Zeidler and their city manager, Jack Tuttle. Now, I've been handed this list, and I've been trying to look for others that I need to introduce, and so whoever I've left out, I certainly apologize. Turner Spencer, excuse me, sitting on the front row from the City of Hampton. And Ross Hines, who chairs the Board of Supervisors in Gloucester County. It's significant that these people take off from their very busy schedules to come here and celebrate with us the opportunities and the advantages and the ability to serve both our citizens and our business community with a facility like this. I'd like to thank you all for allowing me to participate today. I am encouraged that this facility is, may I say finally, getting off the ground, and that in a short time we will have a world-class facility that will take the world-class workers we have on the peninsula and make them an even more significant workforce to contribute to the well-being of our communities and of our business world. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you, Joe. As you can tell, while Joe Spencer and I have been playing golf, Joe Frank has been practicing his speech making. Our next speaker is Dr. Arnold R. Oliver, who is the Chancellor of the Virginia Community College System, who has been an advocate of this project from the start. He's also allowed Karen Peterson the time to help out on this to make it fruition. And I'd like to call on Dr. Oliver for a few remarks.
Thank you very much, Ben. This is a spectacular project, a project that is unprecedented in Virginia and any place in Virginia. A partnership of localities focused around workforce development, an unprecedented partnership of universities, the DEC, the community college system, Thomas Nelson, and certainly the workforce agencies within this region. What a spectacular success this will have, an impact it will have for the future of this region, for ensuring its prosperity, for ensuring that this region will remain a vital part of this Commonwealth. As you have heard many people already comment, but I must reiterate, this project could not have happened, would not have happened, were it not for the commitment of Cheryl Bailey and Karen Peterson. It took hours and days and weeks of their time. There's no exaggeration in that. Karen Peterson has a staff of papers in her office that are almost 3 feet high representing this project. As I talk about the project, I need to thank some additional people. Susan Ragsdale, the head of our facilities department in Richmond. I want to recognize the support of the State Board for Community Colleges. Ms. Marge Funk is here as a member of the State Board for Community Colleges. She's a past member of the Thomas Nelson Community College Board. And there are other members of the Thomas Nelson Community College Board that are here as well. Their support for this project has been instrumental. Clearly, they told me to speak up over the Jets. Clearly, our two attorneys that stuck with us through this whole project, Genevieve Dybin and Chris Crow, were critical to this. And I also want to recognize one additional person, a man who stepped in as we were down to hours when the project was going to fail. The bonds were running out, the authorizations were running out, permitting was running out, and we went to Mr. Donald Williams, the Director of the Department of General Services. Donald's standing out there, wave at us, Donald. He stepped in at the last minute. He cut through the last yards and yards of red tape that had to be cut through in the last 3 or 4 or 5 days, and the project came to fruition. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the General Assembly that are here, members of the executive branch that are here, I call on you, I implore you to please conduct a top-to-bottom review of how the Commonwealth of Virginia conducts its capital leases. It's an embarrassment to this point. We could have had a huge embarrassment to 6 localities. And it wasn't that we were opposing anything, but we simply could not make the process work. Please, let's have a top-to-bottom review, and let's be able to do capital leases in something under than 2.5 years. Congratulations to this locality, to this region. What a spectacular success it is. To the members of government that are here, the people of this region will always be grateful for this success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Arnold. I concur completely with your remarks with regard to the time, but I think that the people, everybody knew that this was the right thing to do, and I guess this was the first one, and you have to learn, but I think we will learn from this, because I know that the state will benefit by having these facilities throughout the region. So I think there's a lot to learn, and I know the city will be anxious to participate in kind of an exit interview to see what we did right, what we did wrong, and maybe make it easier for the next people. One of the people that helped us probably get there maybe a year earlier, because he'd been through the loop so many times. I heard his name early in the project. I didn't get a chance to meet him until today, but he's done these type of things before. He's here today representing Old Dominion University. He's the Vice President for Administration and Finance, David R. Harnage. David?
Good morning. What a grand day this is, because as you've heard from everyone so far, there's been lots of effort go into this. But most importantly, there's vision. Certainly without that vision, all of the efforts of everyone that worked on the details would have not happened, because the vision sets the pace. We at Old Dominion University are truly pleased to be part of this vision and to congratulate all the leaders of this region for having that vision. Certainly your vision is being rewarded with results, not only in this project, but as I visit the peninsula and I see the economic growth, the jobs, the businesses that are locating to this community, you are blessed as a region to have this visionary leadership that is represented here today, and thank you very much. At Old Dominion, we are also equally committed to the concept of workforce development. We, for 2 consecutive years, as measured by the Center for Innovative Technology, have been judged as a leading institution in the Commonwealth in terms of creating new jobs and saving firms, reorganizing businesses. Under the leadership of our president, James Cook, we have implemented programs at the university to enhance our ability to contribute to the growth of the Commonwealth. In particular, the Peninsula Higher Education Center, for which we started in the late 80s, just down the street on Butler Farm Road, has been in a temporary facility. That is, if you can consider 10 or 11 years as temporary. But importantly so, having a permanent home for Old Dominion to establish its programs and continue its growth and support in partnership with the Peninsula is extremely important. There's a person in the audience today I need to recognize, Alice McElroy, who is director of the center. Alice, you're here somewhere. Has been instrumental in bringing academic programs to this community. In fact, we now offer and will continue to offer over 50 degree programs through this higher education center and this workforce development center to this community. I also must recognize another individual that's in the audience, Bob Finning, who is the Associate Vice President for Administration and Finance at Old Dominion. I will say to you, and Ben indicated that we have done this on several occasions, but I must say to you, without the efforts of all of the individuals that's been identified to you today, and the commitment of a leadership team to make a project happen, then surely it would fail. In this case, even though we have struggled to find the right ingredients and the right terms for the partnership, the project was always destined to success. The partners have been committed from day one, and we at Old Dominion University are so very pleased to have been chosen as a partner in this important project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. You know, today all we're doing is kind of put a blessing on the bricks and stones. The building alone will be nothing without the programs that go in it. And we're looking to the community college system, Dr. Pippins, Old Dominion, and the Virginia Employment Commission to develop the programs, which I know they already have, but to expand those that will make the facility a success. The bricks and stones, as you know, will not do that. The next player in the team that will add to that is the Virginia Employment Commission. And we're lucky today to have the commissioner, Dr. Thomas J. Coburn. Tom?
What a fantastic opportunity all of us have to make the Peninsula Workforce Development Center a model for the entire state. The Virginia Employment Commission is proud to be your partner. We have been serving employers and workers of the Peninsula and the entire state for over 65 years. The Virginia Employment Commission is known for providing unemployment insurance compensation to those workers who lose their jobs. Unfortunately, Virginia's economy and the economy of this area have continued to grow. We have a 30-year low in unemployment. In fact, Virginia has the 3rd lowest unemployment rate of any state in the nation. This area's unemployment rate is at the low 2.6%. And it wasn't too many years ago that we used to think that if we ever got to 5% unemployment, we would have full employment. Look at us now. All this simply means, though, with more Virginians working than ever before, we have an even greater challenge to make sure our workforce has the skills necessary to meet the demands of business. The whole Hampton Roads area has the 2nd largest civilian workforce of any area in the state, with over 740,000 workers. But we know that not all of these workers are prepared to meet the challenges of the workplace. Our main mission Virginia Employment Commission is not to administer the unemployment insurance program, but to match workers to the needs of employers. We work with state and local economic development efforts to bring new business to the area, to expand business, to work with employers to handle recruitments, post job listings on the VDC's internet site, to advertise available jobs not only in this area but across the state. During the past year, the General Assembly and the Governor asked the VEC to assume responsibility for the federal job training program under the Workforce Investment Act. This act will bring $2.3 million to training programs here in the peninsula, an additional $5.5 million for job training programs on the Norfolk and Virginia Beach side. A statistic that emphasizes just how important job training is that 80% of the workers who will be in the workforce 10 years from now are working today. And if we feel many people aren't ready for today's challenges, they sure won't be ready to meet the challenges 10 years from now unless we do something about it. And that's where your vision and leadership of great partnerships between business, education, and government come into play.
Incentive will hopefully provide benefits for training workers at the entry level and also for retraining workers at the more skilled level. So hopefully we'll be able to find them, train them, and place them all in one facility, a one-stop shop. Today, representing the Greater Peninsula Workforce Development Commission is the Honorable William F. Haskins, Jr., who is also, as Joe mentioned, a member of the City Council for the City of Newport News. Bill?
Thank you very much, Ben. And it really is a pleasure for me to be part of this workforce development because in my lifetime I came from a company that really believed in workforce development. That's Newport News Shipbuilding. Newport News Shipbuilding, through its existence, has developed its own workforce throughout its entire history through its apprentice program. At one time, its apprentice program offered engineering support to its design. They created designs. A lot of people that Newport News developed in their workforce designed the first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, the USS Enterprise. So workforce development is very important to me. But I think I would be remiss if I didn't talk about how we're moving forward. We've heard about the nuts and bolts. We've heard about the problems that we've had in trying to get this building off center. We've heard about the Commonwealth's leases that we had to overcome in order to get this far. But I think I would be remiss in not recognizing Bill Mann and the staff of the Peninsula Industrial Council. Bill, would you stand? Who really, through his efforts and that of several other members of local government, have put this thing together, and we're fast moving to come into existence to bring reality to where we're headed. We've already submitted most of our membership list to the Virginia Employment Commission and have received tentative approval of that commission, which is a major step in Virginia. We probably are the first to receive that honor yet in the entire state of Virginia, and that goes to the effort of Bill Mann and his staff, and I appreciate that. We've already had our first meeting of the Virginia Industry Council, the Private Industry Council, which is very, very important to identifying the needs of the industry in this area so that we can place those needs before the academia so that they can get a plan, the type of development we'll have to have for our industries and our businesses on the community. And I look forward to do that. I would like again to thank all of you for the opportunity of serving, and also would be remiss in not recognizing Turner Spencer, who's the vice chairman of the consortium. Turner, it's been a pleasure working with him. And I look forward to this building being built and us truly becoming a one-stop center
for workforce development for the diverse industries we have in this community. Thank you very much.
Okay, all the speechifying is over with. We're getting ready to have the groundbreaking. What we're all here for. Cheryl Bailey and Karen Peterson, if you two would come forward and lead the members of the platform over to the groundbreaking area. Lead us now, just as you led us the whole process through the state maze of bureaucracy and red tape and so forth. And thank God we're here today. And then the members of the audience will follow in behind us. Thank you very much for attending.
It's an engineer on feet, you can't see.
Oh, we got it. Everybody here? Wait. Sit up in the shade and breathe on it. Solid. If we had one more speech, I would probably drop.
Yes.
We're serving refreshment.
Oh, don't do that. Shovel.
He got in a couple of digs there, didn't he?